What up, what up? What's going on, everybody? I'm here with another quick review from yours truly, Prometheus the Collector. Here to talk about the Avengers Infinity War nanotech suit, the Iron Man Mach 50, which actually they came out with one before this. I think it was like late last year they came out with it, and it didn't come with much accessories, but I missed out on it. I wasn't a lucky kid that actually got that figure, and actually this is one of my first SH Figure Arts Marvel line. So for me, it's, don't get me wrong, it's a dope figure, but it's a little bit, it's a definitely a big disappointment. The simple fact that I missed out on the first one, because this is technically supposed to be like the upgraded version, but it only came with the parts that makes the figure the nano suit tech or whatever. So I did not get the original one, which is kind of stupid the way Tamashii Nation did this, because for people that missed out and were able to get this one, well, you got a figure, but you didn't get the actual slick version of the Mach 50. And I'm going to take this out the package real quick. Give me a second. Clearing all of this stuff. Quick little unboxing. But, you know, we got it out. Here it is, out of the package. And if you do care to see the box, I'll show you real quick before I start reviewing the figure. And it's so much to talk about this figure, because it's a little bit of a disappointment because I didn't get the first one. And technically this figure is something that you basically take the parts from the old one, if you wanted to use those parts to make, if you see on the back, if you got like the legs, the arms, you got like the slick version, and the cannon that he did come with the first one, but you don't get any of these other cool little accessories. But if you watch the movie, you will know that the figure did, I'm sorry, not the figure, but the Iron Man, aka Tony Stark, aka Robbie Downey Jr., my boy, did a lot more with this suit that they were able to actually put together. So there's a lot going on with this, but the only downfall is I did not get the first one. So for me, it was a big disappointment, because me not actually knowing what this figure was all about, knew about it, but I was coming in here thinking that I was going to get a much better, basically 2.0 version of this figure. And Tamashii Nation really didn't do a good job on explaining that it was coming with the figure, but it wasn't coming with any of the regular parts. And even for the people that got the first one, if you got the first one and you get this one, well, you're still in a good position. But once you take the arms and the legs off from that one, it's almost like this figure became dead. And they could have just gave you the parts instead of an actual whole 2.0 figure, because the original one does not have the back pegs. If I was to show you in a second, it does not have these pegs that just fell off on the first one. So if you was to put him into like a flight type pose, if you wanted to use the wings on the one that you originally got, it ain't happening. But you can definitely take this arms, these little slick knife arms off, and you can put it on your old one. But technically they want you to take your old one and take all the pieces off from that one and put it on this one, which is a loss, because the figure right now is going for a lot of money. And if you want it, it's almost like you gotta pay a ton of money out the ass just to basically throw it away and to mod it, because the original one does not have the back pegs to put the wings on. And it's a little bit of a disappointment. And for me, I didn't get the first one, so I'm pretty much stuck with this one. And for some odd reason, Tamashii Nation decided to come out with another Mach 50 that's from the Avenger Endgame line, which I don't remember really seeing it in that movie that much, unless they did like some type of a flashback. For people that didn't see the movie, you know, a little bit of a spoiler, but I much rather get the final outfit that technically Tony Stark's War when he snapped his finger and said, "I am Iron Man." And, you know, took out Thanos and his army, which was a dope scene, but a very sad scene. But since they got, you know, time machines and all that other stuff, who knows, we might see him back in the realm by them screwing up the whole timeline, but whatever. Let's get back into the figure and enough of the rant. And we're going to go with a little bit of the articulation with this figure. It has, you know, good top swivel. The arms go straight out like this. Just to keep in mind that these arms, that's like T-1000 status when he took his arm and transformed it. If you kids are young and watching it, if you go back and watch T2, he basically turned his arm into like a kitchen knife and killed the lady that was supposedly John Connor's adopted mother. But I'm not going to get all into it with that. That just takes away. But let's get back into articulation. Arms go straight out. Head moves around pretty well. And it is a very well designed figure. The only problem is I don't have any of the other parts to, you know, make the figure regular slick version, Mach 50 version before he turned himself into a weapon. But yeah, you know, the articulation is all there. If you know Tamashii Nation, they give you the best articulation. They got the little drop down method with the leg if you want to get like a little bit more range with it, which is actually pretty dope. I'm a little stiff with mine. My joints are a little stiff. Obviously, you see me. I just took it out the package. There's definitely double jointed. The arm goes up real well. The legs move around real well. By the way, to keep you informed that these feet are die cast, which makes this figure a little lower, heavier. You know, the bottom part of this figure is heavy due to the fact that they have that die cast piece, which makes this figure almost perfect when you want to pose him and keep him stood up the way he is. Like, you don't have to worry about this figure ever falling over. These are like weights to the ground, so it is kind of nice. But, you know, he has some great articulation. The foot moves really well. He has great ankle pivot. He does it all. You know, double jointed, you know, legs if you can get it there. But, you know, it's there if you're moving around, especially if you have the other figure that you can take out the pieces to make him the slick version. Thanks to Tamashii Nation, they didn't add that on the list for the new Nano weapon set. And he did give you a Tamashii Nation stand that comes with, I'll show you in a second, that I noticed it comes with this, basically, this is the stand, but it's also a carrying case for if you have the other one, you can store the parts in here. And you just pretty much just pop it off, pop it back on. If you see, upside down, you take it on, pop it off. If you have some pieces that you want to store, you can just use it for a storage piece for any other SH Figure Arts if you want to use it. But that piece is there, and that is the stand that it comes with. So it doesn't really come with a lot because all the accessories that comes with it is already pre-attached to the figure. And technically this is the figure that you do want, but in my eyes, I feel like Tamashii Nation really dropped the ball on this, because at the time when they were releasing this, I don't know if they were planning it, but I would have rather them do like, all right, let's do a deluxe version that comes with all of those parts from the first one, plus these set weapon pieces for the Nano suit, and, you know, give you more of a deluxe figure. Even if they made it a web exclusive, at least people that are hardcore collectors that's going to get it day one regardless are going to have more options to buy. Like, I want to go with this one, but do know that I'll have to pay a little bit more money for this figure when it does release, but I'd rather have the fully loaded one. Technically, this would be it if it came with the changeable regular arms and legs, but it did not. So that was just a little quick money grab for Tamashii Nation to get these crazy collectors out there that's willing to buy anything that they put on shelves if they like it. So that's pretty much it with that. You know, it's just, you know, it's a good figure. It's fun to have. I mean, technically, I can still use them and pose them, but I wouldn't mind having the other one. And not, like I said before, they're coming out with another Nano suit tech suit. butchered that. But anyways, they're coming out with another Nano weapon set, and it's supposed to be from the Avenger Endgame line when it comes out with I think another back wing type piece. I think it's like some type of plasma blasters or something that he had on his back from the first one. But they already made 3 Mach 50s and basically scored money off of all of the people that bought the first one and now are probably most likely going to get that one. I don't know about everybody, but if you are a big fan of Iron Man and you want all of those pieces that you can connect together to make the ultimate Iron Man, well, there you have it. But the problem is you're going to be stuck with 3 Mach 50s. And I just don't understand that was just dumb on Tamashii Nation. And I know this is turning into a rant video, but it is what it is. When you spend as much money as they're putting out on the shelves, people will like a complete figure. So technically they didn't give us a complete figure with both the release, the last one and this one. And the one that they had came out with before, actually somebody did like a third-party weapon set, and it actually came with a good weapon set. The ones that I actually remember that he used the most in the movie with those flat iron type fist and the feet, you know, they didn't even include that. They could have did that. I mean, even though these are cool, don't get me wrong, but those were the most memorable for me. That's the one part that I remember him transformation and doing all of his tech stuff with that suit at the time in the movie when he switched off from using the blades. And, you know, if you watch the first Avengers, you know what I'm talking about. But he was beating Thanos up with those weapon set pieces that he was using when he formed into him at the time. But overall, it's still a good figure. Don't get me wrong. It's a great, slick-looking figure. It didn't come with the pieces that I thought it was coming with. And if I would have known that going into getting this figure, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. I probably would have got the other one. But I think the one that is coming out from the Endgame line, even though it's still a Mach 50, I think that one comes with the feet and the arms, as far as I know. I'm not 100% sure. They could be pulling your leg again, but, you know, like I said, it was a little bit of a disappointment the way they did this figure, but at the end of the day, it is a good figure. I'm happy with the way it kind of came out, and I just wished he would have gave me a complete figure at the time. So it is what it is. Here it is. Iron Man in the flesh. Mach 50 Nano Weapon Suit Edition. And besides the fact that it was just a cheap way of Tamashii Nation basically getting more money from their hardcore fans from this figure, you know what I mean? It's still a very good figure, and I'm not going to deny that. It's just, it kind of stinks because if I was to get the other Mach 50, I would have to pay way too much money for my liking, over $100, and that's just not cool. And I get it, but at the end of the day, for people that missed out on the first one, and if you picked this one up, you were thinking that you were getting the best figure that was coming out from the first one of the Mach 50, you're kind of wrong. You were right, but you were wrong, because this one is a very good one, but is not the one. So Tamashii Nation is basically getting everybody for the money to say, hey, if you want this version or that version, you're going to have to get all of the versions if you want to mix and match. And you're going to have 3 Mach 50s, and that's just stupid in my eyes, instead of you just giving us one deluxe version. But you do not do that. It is what it is. So with that being said, I am done. The review is in. You see the figure. So if you do choose to buy it, go right ahead. Just keep in mind that if you're getting this one right here, that it is not going to come with regular feet or arms for it to have the slick look. But if you don't care, go right ahead and get it. It's selling out fast. You'll probably still be able to find it in certain third-party distributors out there. But like I said, it's a good figure. But for me, it was a little bit of a disappointment disappointment due to the fact that Tamashii Nation just wants to get your money for whatever they put out for the hardcore fans to grab. But whatever, I learned from my mistakes. Great figure. Grab it if you feel like it. I'm all done with this review. I hope you like it. Please leave a like and give me a comment on what you think, how Tamashii Nation put this figure out, knowing that they put out a figure before that, and now they're giving everybody 2 figures to swap from. And when you do swap it, the other figure is pretty much a throwaway. So, I don't know. I think that was just dumb by Tamashii Nation. Like I said, leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think on how Tamashii Nation brought this new Mach 50, which is still sick, but it is also a disappointment for the people that didn't get the first one because you're just stuck with these sharp-ass arms and these heavy feet. It's all dope, but it's less things you can do with it, like swap out parts. So, I don't know. I like it. It's good. Wouldn't say it's worth your money. Even if you got 2 of them, it just makes you feel like I'm being robbed, because if they would have just did just the pieces and charged you a small fee, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But due to the fact that they did not do that, you're basically stuck with 2 action figures from the Avengers Infinity War line. So it is what it is. It's a cool, dope figure at the end of the day. And I never noticed that, yeah, like I said, these are die cast. Not the whole entire leg piece that you see right there is not all die cast, but the feet does have articulation. If I didn't get into that, it's tough if you want to throw some oil on it. It doesn't bend all the way up, and it bends more down than anything, but it's all die cast, baby. That is pretty dope, and that does make the figure a little bit more expensive, but it's just pretty much a little bit of a downfall that it didn't come with arm and legs, that they could have easily included with it due to the fact that they gave you a stand with a carrying storage box. I mean, that was just really Tamashii Nation. So like I said, the video's over. I'm done. I'm out. Yours truly, Prometheus Collector. And peace.